you feel unhappy. When you feel unhappy, you go to happy hour. When you go to happy hour, you're up for anything. When you're up for anything, you head to a Turkish bathhouse. When you head to a Turkish bathhouse, you meet Charlie Sheen. And when you meet Charlie Sheen, you reenact scenes from Platoon with Charlie Sheen. Don't reenact scenes from Platoon with Charlie Sheen. Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
There are machines that can do things for us. Machines that can make things for us. Machines that can see right through us. And machines that want to be us. Want to replace us. But they are not us. There is one machine that makes us greater. A machine so instinctive, so seductive. It's as alive as we are. It doesn't click or buzz. It roars. Jaguar.
I always said shoes are like women. They inspire beautiful music.
But what about these?
Stilettos sound like this.
What does my fragrance inspire?
That's got soul.
My ties are beautiful. They don't need music.
Bringing the stars together. That's the magic of Macy's.
HTLA Radio 1.
This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce from The Views Expressed. Please come join me on The Views Express Live, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Spreaker.com.
The good old Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. There you go, buddy. Gotta check that show out. Absolutely. I sit here and I'm thinking, I do Crash Talk once a week generally. Sometimes we do a special edition show, and sometimes, like tonight, we're gonna go long. Yes, I don't know when I'm ending my show tonight. It's a filibuster. But Wayne does his show actually every night of the week, Monday to Friday. Bam. So if you're out there and you're listening, whiz on over to Spreaker.com and check out the Liberty and Freedom Radio Network. So moving on. Welcome back. You are listening to your host, Chris Crash Jesus Taylor. And Crash Talk this week is Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Deception. And, we've covered a lot of stuff, and we're going to cover a lot more because, man, this stuff never stops, does it? It just doesn't end. No. Just during the break there, I've actually had some people message me that I'm on crack, I'm on glue, I'm on all this good stuff. Well, if I'm on all these drugs, then geez, that would justify me to go out with my guns and kill anybody, wouldn't it? Oh wait, no, you're not that bad, Crash. Don't do that. Don't be thinking about that. Well, it's hard not to think about that when every time you turn around, there's another massacre at another where? School. No, sometimes some of the lamos decide to go and hit them all, but usually it's schools. It gets better press. Stop gun violence. Gun violence. Yes, the violent guns. Yeah. Well, we've already had a little bit in the earlier segment there that I went through about, my thoughts on how violent my guns are for that 2-year test that I concluded tonight, actually. The results were obvious that, the gun stayed in the case for 2 years. And, well, even the clip didn't get out and party, so. But, more specific than that, there were some headlines tonight just before going on the air about some happenings in China today. And I'll bet you guys this is going to be breaking news for you. Did you know that today, yes, today, just days before Christmas, a man in China stabbed with a knife, 22 children in a school. Killed 22 children in a school with a knife. See, I'm thinking that this is a bigger problem than what we think it is. Just saying. It might not be them guns conspiring. I'm thinking. It's not them guns. Anyway, this all brings me to Jim Brady. Do you all remember him? Actually, maybe a good chunk of my listeners aren't old enough to even know Jim Brady. Do you know Ronald Reagan? Ronald Reagan. Yeah, he was an actor. Yep. Well, Ronald has a pretty well-known quote during his presidency, actually during the end of his presidency. Ronald Reagan, if you'll remember, was one of the most recent assassination attempts on a president. Ronald Reagan, yes, was shot and wounded. Jim Brady, his press secretary, was shot and seriously debilitated for the rest of his years. Anyway, Ronald Reagan, several months after this assassination was carried out, he was asked about gun control. And I have a quote here from the president. And I was going to give you all the entertainment value of my Ronald Reagan impression, because yes, I do those, if you've noticed. Never mind. But I'm not going to lessen the words or cheapen the message by doing that. I'm going to give it to you straight on Crash Talk. Yes, straight. President Ronald Reagan says, and I quote, "You won't get gun control by disarming law-abiding citizens. There's only one way to get real gun control, and that is to disarm the thugs and criminals, lock them up, and if you don't actually throw away the key, at least lose it for a very long time. It's a nasty truth," he says, "but those who seek to inflict harm are not fazed by gun controllers or laws. I happen to know this from personal experience." Well, right there, to me, I've got some friends who are pro-gun control. My good friend Michael Graves, he's kind of slapped me upside the head there a couple of times with some posts on Facebook about gun control and how ridiculous I am for being pro-gun. And I don't think he's really given me a fair shake in terms of understanding my point of view, having worked with them before, or any credibility to my intelligence or even a modicum of respect when it comes to my opinion on the matter. I hear his opinion on the matter over 300 times a day because, of course, I get all these reposts in my feed of everything he's saying about the whole gun control rhetoric. But I made a comment on one of those posts yesterday, and I got the message pretty clear when my message was deleted after 4 minutes. Yes, those gun controllers, they don't actually want to talk about anything. They want to dictate, and they want to control. And there it is. So moving on now, we go to the Jim Brady campaign. Yes, there is an actual movement about the Jim Brady dealio. The mission statement at the Brady campaign is that they are devoted to creating an America free from gun violence. Oh, there's that term again. Guns just getting up and doing shit all by themselves. Where all Americans are safe at home, at school, at work, and in our communities. My goodness, that sounds like a wonderful place, doesn't it? Almost like Disney World. Ah, yes, I remember. 16 years old, young boy in Orlando, Florida, with all the girls in the bikinis and Walt Disney World at my fingertips. Ah, yes. We were all safe then. At work, at school, in our little Disney communities. Wow, it was so nice. And to be honest with you, it was nice. It was the nicest time in my life. I just loved it. It was glee and joyous and happy and not a care in the world. Kid you not. But it's not like that, is it? Oh, sure, we might all want it to be like that. Sure. Why not? That would be something to strive for as a human race, wouldn't it? You betcha. Absolutely. Well, that's their mission statement. And let's take a look at some of the pages around how they hope on getting to achieve that mission statement. Americans want solutions to gun violence. Americans, including gun owners, strongly favor common sense solutions for gun violence. Well, that's nice. They included us too in that. Isn't that nice? I think that's nice. Then they follow that up by saying 96% of Americans want background checks on all gun sales to screen out felons. Well, gee, do you think that's a good idea, Mickey? Yeah. 87% of non-NRA gun owners support requiring a criminal background check to anyone purchasing a gun. 74% of NRA gun owners support requiring a criminal background check. Okay, wait a minute. Is this just me? Or does this sound like they're like, even you NRA people think this is a good idea? Well, of course. Because last time I checked, the NRA people weren't criminals. The NRA people were hunters, and they were military, and they were the average Joe who just enjoyed firearms, weapons, competition. Yes, oh yes, there's competitions with these terrible weapons of mass destruction. Did you know that? Yes. The IPSC shoots. There's 60 freaking gun groups out there with all different modicums of competition. Oh hell, and does anybody remember Top Shot? The television show? Yes, a reality television series where every year we pick 20 of the best amateur marksmen and we put them to the test with everything that's a projectile. That's right, because it's sport. It's entertainment. And hey, we can pack it all in and give guns a good rep. Well, why not? Every other channel is showing guns being used to kill people. It's kind of nice to see guns being used with some level of skill and a modicum of precision. Wow. But funny, that show isn't on anymore. I guess the ratings weren't there. Well, the Brady website here also likes to throw out little facts, little factoids. Fun little factoids like, there has been more than 70 mass shootings since Tucson. Did you know that? I didn't know that. No. And why does that matter? There's been 70 of them. Well, it's because everybody's freaking crazy. Oh, did somebody say crazy? Yes, that was me, Crash Talk, your host on HTLA Radio 1. Yeah, crazy. Which takes us back to mental health, doesn't it? You know, in all the coverage with this kid who went in and did the school after doing his mom, and then ultimately himself, did anybody think to ask? Was there any reporter out there somewhere asking the question, what was the state of his mental health? Anything? Was there anybody who noticed any warning signs? No, I'm not talking about that neighbor next door that all the media interviewed saying, oh, he was such a nice boy. No, not that one. Because we get that one all the time, don't we? That's almost, it's the quota of the news report. You've got to have that, otherwise it's not a real news report. Well, let's see what else they've got on here. Oh, people shot in America per year, 97,820. Oh, how many were shot today, you're asking? I can tell you, 268. Now, in these numbers, I ask myself, 268 shot today. How many were intentional, and how many were accidents of the dumbass? Yes, accidents do happen, don't we all know? And with any tool, like good old yours truly out in the garage on the weekend, hammering together some little thing for Gianna to play in, puts a hammer through his thumb, doesn't he? Well, of course he does. Well, you know, sure enough, somebody's going to go out there with their guns on the weekend and blow their foot off, right? Of course. Is that factored in here? No, absolutely not. The number might be factored in here, but the explanation isn't. It's just a broad number. Makes it seem ominous. 100,000 people a year getting shot. It's a war zone. Yeah, it is. Did you know that over 1 million people have been killed with guns in the United States since 1968? Well,